life's not the same.
Perhaps that roam, or perhaps that mid lane as well. The hero is so
guys, kembali ke game kedua IESF final, grand final, langkah terakhir. Kalau Indonesia menang kali ini, maka Indonesia menjadi juara World Championship Esports dan menjadi sejarah baru buat Esports. Indonesia kalah, maka harus nambah 2 game lagi. Indonesia udah menang 2 karena dapat +1 sama menang tadi game pertama. Oke, kita akan ke gamenya. Grafiknya dulu. Seperti biasa, Filipina nge-ban Peny sama Joy. Sama itu buat hero-hero supaya nggak ada hero lincah, nggak ada hero kabur. Terus Indonesia nge-ban Uranus, Diki sama Banyak supaya nggak kena tepus sama enak. Terus Diki supaya nggak ada CC. Terus dari Indonesia pick pertama ya, ini greedy juga sih dari Indonesia. Dia nge-pick UV, Kakita sama Yusong. Dia nge-pick 2 CC, 2 call control sama 1 damage magic. Oke, kalau dari Filipina dia udah ngambil parcel sama Kaja, berarti dia mau counter ini setup dari Indonesianya.
Range-filled composition from Philippines. They will decide to go for a lapu first. Again, both goal laners still being hidden by both Indonesia and Philippines.
Masuk lapu-lapu tinggal ulti udah kelar.
Right now that they go for the Leslie. If they're going for a Beatrix, it might be too risky. There's so much dive, and to add on to the dive from the Yuzong and the Kadita with the Petrify, there's also that real-world manipulation from the Yi to lock these members in that area. It's all down to who they focus down.
Indo Pride yang pertama, Indo yang pertama. Siapapun timnya, siapapun orangnya, Indo Pride. Oke, kembali masuk ke ban.
In the late game against Indonesia in a 5v5, it still seems like the fight will be in favor of Indonesia, but that Beatrix will be banned away.
Berarti kalau nge-ban Beatrix nggak mau ada burst damage yang terlalu tinggi. Jadi kayak ini tinggal hero-hero yang paling bener-bener sakit. Yang masih meta, ini masuk meta itu Leslie masih masuk. Yang nge-burst sih. Kalau yang basic attack pure kayak Cloud, Melissa, masih bagus banget sih, masih bagus banget.
Right now, it doesn't really
Tapi
seem like the ideal option. Another option for kiting away is going to be the Irithel.
Indonesia mau nge-ban apa
nih? As well. And this is why it's so difficult right now. We have no idea what is going on through the heads of these coaches.
For me, I do agree with that. I do believe that
keduanya ada semua guys.
the proper
Filipina
answer
ada
to this
kaca buat hero
composition.
culik.
With the
Indonesia
movement
punya
that she
Kadita.
has, but that's
Jadi sama-sama hero culiknya itu ada.
interesting ban
Jadi
from
ini
Indonesia.
hanya setup
We saw the Uranus, we
counter
questioned it. Now we're
pick
seeing the
aja.
Granger.
Nge-counter.
Granger, we saw this
Indonesia
once.
udah nge-pick
It
2
was
stunner.
up against Slovenia.
Maka Filipina nge-pick 1 anti CC, anti stun, sama satu stunner. Pure. Surprise yang nggak bisa di-cancel.
Very
Itu.
tanky hero, so
Sama
that they
Parsa
can
buat
limit
jauh,
the
Hydron
aggression
sama
coming
kayak
in from the
buat
jungle.
Hydron.
Maybe that is the main point,
Indonesia
the main idea that they're going with right now.
Man,
MM lagi
the
ya.
question I have now is, what is the Philippines gonna ban? The gold laner, we saw the Beatrix, the Wan. If they want to shut the gold lane down, Brand's down, they want to go for another, but they instead ban out the Akai, which means that Philippines might actually be looking to play this Kanja in the jungle, maybe, right? Honestly, at this point,
Kalau dari cancelnya mau kaca jungle itu agak aneh sih.
go crazy. If you're Philippines, you got nothing to lose, you're 2-0 down. We've seen Wise play a lot of crazy heroes in the past. The Valentina in the jungle that's still up for grabs. The Guinevere as well, Arashi.
The Guinevere will be a huge problem for the Eve.
Yang
But that's
lainnya
about it,
yang
and it's
lainnya kayak
not exactly a foolproof method
yang
either.
buat ngejangkau tuh enak, tapi kaca
for
itu
Indonesia
lama.
right now, one
Kayaknya
final
dia
ban.
damage itu dari
If
skill
it's towards
pasif.
Wise as well, then this really shows how much
Indonesia mau nge-ban
emphasis
apa
they're
nih?
putting
Ban
in shutting down the
terakhir.
jungle gameplay from the Philippines. and it will be the Cloud actually. They are wary of the diving potential from the Philippines. They are expecting a completely different approach from our guys in the Philippines.
It's an interesting choice. Philippines now, if they go for an Irithel, I think Indonesia, they won't hesitate at all by going for the Leslie here. Philippines will go for the Leslie. But it's so much dive.
Nggak mau daripada ambil Leslie-nya ini.
It's a risky move, but there are not a lot of other options available either. So for Indonesia right now, the Irithel is still available. It's very flexible. It can be used aggressively and defensively. But is that what they're going to go for? Or will they actually confuse us yet again?
Well, you mentioned a hero that I think is going to be picked up here. Indonesia, Melissa. It was the winning factor, the winning condition for Indonesia the first time they met up against Philippines, up against the Lapu. Same case here. There's going to be a lot of cover from that go-away, providing it for not only himself but also that Yi. And let's see, it is going to be that Melissa with the Martis in the jungle for Indonesia. A proper front-to-back composition that can also dive. It's a multi-dimensional composition with a lot of winning conditions for Indonesia. But for Philippines, the final pick, either the jungler or the roamer. What do they need to go up against this composition that Indonesia has?
I think they need damage. Because right now, even if the Philippines go for card control, Indonesia has so much card control immunity, they have more pick-up advantage, and the answer that the Filipinos go for will be the Baxia. So, right now, it's Indonesia going with aggression, damage, and card control against the Philippines going with speed. Speed will be the name of the game here, with the wings by wings and the shield unity being used to its utmost potential by the Philippines.
The Philippines, once again, down 2 games, 2 points. It's match point for the Indonesians, and it's time now or never for the Philippines to come back to try to build up that equalizer
titel juara
to get to the 5th
IESF
game.
World
It's a long way to
Championship
go, but it begins here,
2020.
Arashi. Philippines and Indonesia. Bali, Indonesia, for both the Filipino supporters and the Indonesian supporters. Let me hear you. They're ready for the game, Arashi.
I mean, they must be. We are ready for the game as well. And just like that,
Oke guys, kita udah masuk ke gamenya. Detik 15 ini menentukan sekali guys. Game ini menang Indonesia akan jadi juara. Tapi kalau game ini kalah, terpaksa harus ambil game lagi.
Philippines Del Rosario starting on the purple.
Oke, kita awal-awal nih masih standar sih.
Indonesia to make plays around, and for the Philippines, it's all flickers, and it's still the Purify in the hands of Imam. But wait a minute, that's aggression in the early game.
Petrify being popped in defensively by Dreams. Luna will take a bit of damage as well, but it's Philippines.
Ini kemungkinan sih matinya item tank.
They went for the early aggression, but with the Thalassophobia, the blessing of the ocean, Dreams is just so much harder to pick off, and this is what they're trying to abuse right here. If the Philippines want to go for those pickoffs early on, it's going to be very, very difficult because all the targets are either tanky, mobile, sustainable, or like Taz right here, he has crowd control immunity.
Looking at it right now, man, Imam went for the Purify. He can't actually get out of these crazy engages from Indonesia, especially from those Petrifies. But when it's comboed together, they can actually just use it in a way where that Purify becomes kind of, you know, useless, right?
Cara menangnya dari berbagai pilihan ya guys. Dari Filipina dulu. Cara menangnya simpel. Buat ini jadi late game, baksianya harus benar-benar tebal. Lapu-lapunya buat di tank. Pilalunya sudah tank. Udah itu tinggal Leslie sama Parsa terus yang mancing-mancing. Tarik, pancing Indonesia ke Leslie terus biar jadi makanan Leslie. Itu dari Filipina. Dari Indonesia, kalau dari Indonesia simpel, culik aja satu-satu, udah pasti bisa tuh. Saya culik belakangnya mudah, Parsa, nggak pasti ke cancel. Terus apalagi Dreams pakai Kadita, sama aja tuh. Mati 2 orang tuh cepet. Leslie. Terus Parsa itu makanan buat Kadita walaupun baru ada Club of Destiny.
Yes, Melissa has a lot of damage, and yes,
kita
Morty is fire, but right now Villaluna gets
Oke, masih kita mulai.
Roamer right now is taking a whole lot of damage there. Skipping the pot up.
King
All the
Cycle
back
kita.
line. That's a beautiful retribution by Taz to secure the first turn of the game as Dream jumps in onto Imam, who's still able to get out with the wings by wings. The pot up now with the help of Villaluna against Cyclops, and Taz was able to withstand, to sustain back up. Now Rosario gonna fall, and it's the first blood over to Taz.
Look at Cyclops just sustaining through all that damage, and you can see the benefit that aggression brings to you. Imam was unable to do anything because he was instantly jumped on by Dreams. A roamer in his role, but still
Sekotnya itu
able to
agak
function like an
nekat
assassin.
karena dia udah sekarat tapi dia tetap maju walaupun pasifnya ada tapi dia nggak
seen this Mortis pick a whole lot. Meanwhile, top side Cyclops gonna be stunned up. He gets a little bit more HP. Doesn't get solo killed. Taz though, right now, again playing around that top side, providing a bit of support. Arashi. It's still 1-0. The turtle also going to the hands of Indonesia. So it's Indonesia with the initial lead. The Rosario with the shield immunity and even the Turtles with Sans. Actually committing onto Dreams right now with Villaluna coming in. That's the rough wave passed by Dreams defensively just to get out of that situation.
And it does seem like Indonesia has a lot more advantage, but this is how it's supposed to be. They have strong early game heroes and they need to abuse it. Because even though they are winning, the longer the game goes, the more difficult it's gonna be. Right now the Philippines go for a dive, but it gets countered.
Imam so low. Still, have that wings by wings. Proper cover from the rest of the roster here for Team Philippines. Imam's gotta be careful. He's a back off. Hijume and Dreams already maneuvering themselves to pick up, to give some more space over to Brands to pick up the shield. Here, Imam gonna be taking low better airstrike. That's a close movement by Imam. He gets out. He outplays the Indonesian members. Dreams here gonna be able to get out, but what a play! Imam staying.
Outplay above outplays here. We saw that Brands goes in aggressively, trying to outplay the two low members from the side of the Philippines. But the Philippines really threw it and countered it. Right now the Philippines have some more momentum to work with, and the turtle is up. Will they contest right here, knowing that as far as heroes goes in the early game, they are at a disadvantage, and it seems like Indonesia might just let it go.
Better setup right now with a divine judgment as well, but bringing Taz out for the retribution to come through from Del Rosario to secure the second turtle of the game. The Philippines who are able to withstand, and again they're coming back, equalizing in goal.
They're equalizing in goal, but the Indonesians have taken a lot of HP, and of course the gold shield from the bottom turret as well. That means Brands who have a lot more damage. And looking at the composition, there will be some time here where the long-range burst will not be able to just deny him completely. And in those mid-game fights, that is where Brands will attempt to use that lead to try and take over the game.
We'll have to see again, right? The game is going very, very slow. Like we mentioned early on, Indonesia wants to get the ball rolling as fast as possible. In the later stages, they're going to have to rely heavily on that Yi and the Melissa. I think when it comes to this consistent damage, it might actually favor Philippines. With Villaluna now running away, Dreams going in, that's a petrify as well. A lot of damage placed in, a lot of resources spent as well. He's going to be dove on, but the airstrike into Braf, who jumps in with Flicker, finding that kill. Brands now with the go away, still able to catch in, but the Padap comes in with that stun, picking up a double kill for Philippines. Even Soriano getting out. Taz now in the midst, still able to escape. It's a 2-for-1. In favor of Philippines.
The Philippines definitely come out on top here, taking out the gold lane and the mid lane at the same time. They were just a bit too aggressive from Indonesia, and they get flanked out. And against Baxia, he is behind you guys. That's going to be so difficult to deal with. Soriano instantly equalized the current situation. Let's take a look at that replay. Instantly engaging onto Villaluna, but as a result, Hijume gets jumped on. He pops the real manipulation to try and buy a bit more time, but even Brands gets taken out right here. And you can see that in a messy fight. Whoa, but wait a minute. Brands is out of the game.
Philippines, this is what they like to do. Again, playing around that goal lane. Dreams, though, again, this is getting personal. Another engage onto Villaluna, who's able to soak in that damage. It's all to distract from the turtles. Taz and Cyclops are onto it. With a man advantage, Philippines will look to try to commit onto this. It's a contest right now with Zablab coming in. Cyclops finds it, securing the turtle. Imam still able to get out with wings by wings. Cyclops disengaging with the help of Dreams. Philippines not going to go for it. as well as Indonesia, both teams they just decide to back off and to rebuild.
Indonesia is still ahead right here. They were able to steal that turtle as well. But as we mentioned, the clock is ticking, and they keep trying to go for engages onto Villa Luna, and it hasn't been really working out as intended. And the Filipinos are definitely still not as behind as the Indonesians would want them to be.
Spell
7 minutes
masih biasa sih.
Only a 1,000 goal lead here for Indonesia. Even less actually. That's 700 around.
Ini kuatnya Filipina ini. Setup gini kuatnya tuh.
Able to spot them out,
Tapi
canceling
kalau
that.
disuruh nge-pick off satu-satu ya masih bisa, cuma tak lama kalau nggak
Philippines
lagi.
are trying their best to again
Memang
get some
nge-pushnya cuma
pressure back into the enemy jungle. In that gold lane, they
cuma
have
Parsha
an advantage when it comes
sama
to that
Leslie.
pressure because of the tier 1 in that bottom
Itu
side.
doang.
But they have to be very
Nggak ada yang
careful
lain, kan?
around that top lane. Look at
Dengarnya
how
berat.
Indonesia are playing around that.
Indonesia, wah
Right now,
coret-coretannya
Imam
banyak
does
tuh.
not have the lightning truncheon as well.
Kena
So once
Dreams,
that item is completed,
kena
that's a lot
Yahyo.
more wave clear, a lot more
Sakit
burst damage
sekali.
that the Filipinos can play with. Right here,
Di
Dreams
Filipina
is serving
kena
as an
kaca
assassin,
nggak ada
trying to
damage,
make a
terus
play,
kena
most
Leslie
likely.
baru gitu.
But we'll have to see if the
Dari
Filipinos
sini.
fall for it. The mutual objectives are not up right here, so both teams they have time to try and make creative plays of their own.
It's all about the setup again, right? Mid control, pushing into waves again, just building this
Set
little
up,
lead,
set up.
with manipulating the waves, by
Setup
manipulating the waves.
lagi, wave
As they're
bawahnya
also
sih
going to
oke
play
ditumpuk
around
berarti
the
dari
vision.
si
They can play around the
Indonesia
bushes
mau
right now to
ditumpuk
look for these
untuk
crazy
wave
ambushes.
bawahnya supaya aman. Nanti
Honestly,
ada wah, ada
if they
lobnya
play
juga
this
di,
way, Arashi,
di bawah
I do
jadi
feel like,
biar
again,
mengalihkan
Indonesia might
perhatian.
have a little bit of a lead when it comes down to Jackson. Just that
Levelnya udah
pickoff.
setengah
There's a lot
darah.
of map openers though for Philippines to get that vision down. Dream's gonna be zoned out. That's the Lord against spawning in.
Wah,
Whoa,
ini
the bravest spider
langsung
by
diomelin
Pada
semua sini.
over in
Oh,
that
di
top
CC
side
banyak
river.
banget
That's a
ini.
massive resource burnt out
Oke,
before
Filipina mau
the
setup
Lord
lagi
fight.
guys. Ini harus
The
hati-hati
Filipinos are
dari
applying the
Indonesia.
Indonesian strategy
Ini sih
of
sahabatnya yang
taking out
jadi
your
tulang
engage
punggungnya
tool
kalau udah
before you
gini.
can engage on them. So
Setup
Dreams is
begini
definitely
awalnya.
one of the main
Setup,
heroes they are looking
hancurin.
to pick off. But look at this play though, the Filipinos already showing different looks, being a lot more aggressive.
Buat
We
ngehancurin,
saw that they usually
ya,
fight back,
setup.
but in the first few fights here, they're actually
Ini kalau
diving
bisa
into the
dapetin,
backline, ensuring that Hijume and Brands
lumayan
get
banget
taken
sih
out, even
untuk
if
ini,
the
Filipina.
frontliners are able to dive towards their own backline.
Tapi kelihatannya
Winning
dilepas.
conditions for both teams. For Philippines, they need
makanya
to
ditumpuk
play
di bawah
this
kan tadi.
team fight.
Iniannya, supaya nggak bisa nge-push.
Jumping into that
Jadi
backline
Filipina
again, he needs to be the
nggak
distraction
fokus.
towards the Yves, towards the Melissa. But for Indonesia, they need to just dive straight onto the Leslie and the
Ada nggak ya
Farsa.
orang yang ke atas?
It becomes really,
gitu,
really
ada yang
interesting
ke atas
now in
nggak
the
ya?
mid
Kalau nggak
stage
ya
of the game
udah,
with the Lord spawn
jadi
in.
kita turun
As
lagi.
Indonesia will have more control here.
Indonesia udah di
Philippines
bawah semua,
looking to
udah
again
kayaknya udah ngerti
still
ada
find
orang di
this
sana di
position. They're
atas.
still trying to contest it, Arashi.
And right now, even though Indonesia wants to go for pickoff, even though it seems like they know that they have a numbers
Listen.
advantage here,
You
you can
want?
see that everyone's playing so patiently, trying to figure out if this is a trap, if there's any flanks coming through. And for
Ini
Indonesia,
setup
it's a
dari-
slow approach, but the Filipinos are rotating, and the Indonesians
setup
spot
ini
them.
yang jadi
Black Dragon Form
tulang
is being
punggung.
used.
Black
Dia
Dragon
yang bisa
Form over
ngacak-ngacak
there. Villa Luna
semuanya.
going to be able to find it by judge, but Taz is
Apakah
going to be
dapat
looking
war?
for it, but give it down Rosario.
Dapat Filipina.
Who
Oke,
finds
war
the
masih
retribution?
lanjut.
Now,
Apakah
Taz
mati
is
itu?
subbed up, going to be decimated there by himself. The Rosario canceling out the real world equation, and Philippines are back. They are here in the game, and they're looking to win
Ini
it.
yang beratnya
That is
tadi
a
tuh.
massive lord picked up by the Philippines. They're the ones who are able to
Siapa
just
itu tulang
counter
punggung,
engage. And now with the lord just pushing and empowering
Ya,
the
tadi
waves, the
jadinya.
Indonesians are on the back foot. They do have long range damage, but they are not immune to the dive potential. And just like that, Feather Airstrike has been used, and it's being used so often and so aggressively by Imam.
That feather airstrike again, such a problem for Indonesia to deal with right now. As with the Lord pushing in that bottom lane, they are going to look for some sieges. Soriano already in that bottom lane with the support, with the vision provided by Depada and Villa Luna. They're looking to siege down some more. But it's, again, just Indonesia who are choosing often to give this bottom lane tier 2 up for the Philippines. The mid lane as well, they're looking for it right now. Del Rosario is able to find the shield unity.
Ya bener kan,
And the
makanya
instant
kalau
follow-up
Indonesia
coming in from
kalau
Soriano and
Filipina
Imam
kuat,
to pick it up.
kuat semua
Now
tuh.
it's the mid lane tier 2.
Semua tapi
Philippines are
Indonesia
doing
tuh
super
urutnya
well in the siege. Every single
Eh?
turret falling now. As that's perfect
Oke,
setup again
apakah
for the
Indonesia
top
akan
lane
jadi
tier 2. The feather airstrike
kekalahan?
taking away a whole lot of HP
Wah,
from
ternyata
Hijume.
masih bisa.
For now, Indonesia, they
bagus
have
guys, bagus.
a huge
Indonesia bagus, masih
detriment.
bisa
They are
nahan
not
nih guys.
able to get that engaged. In game number 1, every time they figure out that the fight is on,
ini
they
untuk
can just
Indonesia
go and they
menjadi
can catch the
pertaruhan.
members of the Philippines, but it's a reverse this time.
That's divine judgment time.
Oke,
Instantly
saya
took it down. The real world inflation not by the
Dapetin
range.
tiga,
Saika
belum
finds the
tiga.
petrify. On to 3.
Nice.
It's a 1-for-1 now. Indonesia able to find one more.
Oke, Dreamnya datangnya ke
Justin, almost finding more. It's a beautiful disengage from Philippines. A beautiful read by the members, both using the flicker and the purify.
That was such a tense situation for the Philippines. That could have been disaster. They were clumped up together to avoid getting picked off. But against a Kadira, against a Yutong, you need to have proper spacing. Right here, 3-man petrified from Psychos was able to start it off for Indonesia, and the follow-up from Dreams nearly sealed the deal. Fortunately for the Philippines though, they're able to escape with their lives, and now it's back to that slow-paced gameplay. Who will make the first move?
Solid reaction time. Both Soriano and Imam positioning as well was absolutely perfect. And now Rashi creeping into that late game with the items here. Oh, it's a beautiful engage by Tapada over towards Dreams. Psychos looking for some more. Doesn't have to petrify. Soriano still able to kite away with the help of his mom. Psychos jumping in. Gonna be pushed back. Del Rosario taken down. Soriano finding the kill. It's a 2-for-1 again in favor of Philippines.
Dreams tries his best to be that obnoxious roamer, finding intelligence and still surviving, but the Filipinos understand that he has limited mobility. Every time his movement abilities have been used up, they just jump on him and they completely punish Dreams and shut him down. Like here, 0-2 is not the score he needs to be able to one-shot, to be the threat for the back line.
That's the downside of not having a flicker. That's the downside of going for something like a petrify. You're technically a glass cannon, you cannot take those crazy engages that the Philippines have been able to force. But now, again, it's the real world inflation. Tapada again on the back line, jumping in, doing so much. Tapada finding it, and the retribution goes towards the mid laner for Indonesia. Soriano on the back line, still able to dish out so much damage, picking up an unstoppable. And it's a 3-for-1. The Philippines here are absolutely styling. But the Lord was given over to Indonesia with only Dreams and Psychos left to defend. It seems Philippines want to look for the end.
15 seconds for Brands to respawn right here. The Filipinos, they might just go for the 4v2 team fight. Psychos goes in with the Black Dragon Farm just to delay. Petrify is available, but it doesn't seem like he will come in on a play like this.
Here's time defensively. Dreams gonna be stunned up by the shield unity. Soriano deals so much damage. That's a snipe. Dreams taken down. A monster kill for Soriano. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it's the Enhanced Lord marching down with Imam forcing that further airstrike to clear it out. It's Philippines again, only able to find that base sword in the mid lane. That's the pure side again onto Villaluna, knocking 2 members up. Soriano back line, but it's getting fast, who's massive with the go away. Dealing out a whole lot of damage as the Tapada soaks in so much in the front line. Soriano still in the mid, again doing the true damage on towards the Indonesian members. Tapada running back, taking low, flickers out, gets back to safety. A 1-for-1 in the end.
Very good try by the Indonesians, trying to make sure that with the Lord pressuring the Filipinos, they delay the recalls and go for a fight when the Filipinos are disoriented. It all began here when Villaluna is in the front to go with the furious dive from Psychos, and Brands was positioning so well, but the Tapada does so much damage. He is an absolute menace towards that back line. Taz tries his best, but at this point, the Martis is just a damage sponge for Soriano. The true damage is so dangerous and so difficult to deal with.
Well, we'll see right now. They're going to be spotted again. That's why Leslie becomes so prio right now. We're going to see the real world inflation popped in. That's Dreams looking for the back line. Imam with a beautiful dodge and the Purify to get out. It's just the mid lane tier 1 taken down. Del Rosario with the shield unity, as well as the turns his Poisson. He's looking for an engage, but it will not happen for Philippines as Indonesia read it out. They back off, and it's back to that slow tempo setup game, that macro level gameplay again. As we take a look at the items,
Imam has the Holy Crystal on top of the Lightning Trenchant Clock of Destiny combo, and with the Winter Trenchant, that just doubles security. Because of course Imam understands he is an important tool for the Philippines right now, and for Dreams, having the Genius Wand and the Divine Blade, he now starts to do a lot more damage than the Philippines can afford to take.
Ingat guys,
if the fight actually goes in favor of the Indonesians, that is definitely one of the core factors, as right now the Lord will spawn while Imam does not have a Purify. So that is a a factor that the Indonesians can count on if they want to engage, because both petrifies from Indonesia are still available.
9 seconds for the enhanced lord. Still, it's an enhanced lord. Not yet that evolved lord. Spawns in the 18th minute of the game. But I do feel like it's going to be both teams looking for that evolved lord. Both teams are just trying to dance around the lord, play with the waves in the side lanes, and just force a mistake from one another. Right now, it does feel like Philippines have more control over the board hit with the pot up on that top lane this time. He's playing very carefully, Rashi, because of what happened last game. Now it's the black dragon form actually from Cyclops, concealing by Soriano with the Helm of Dreams. That's a shutdown picked up. Luna falling to the hands of Hijume as that's for the airstrike responded towards the real world manipulation. Miniwaves pushing in that mid lane. Del Rosario gonna look for an opening right now as that's Philippines looking for something in this fight. What can they do, Rashi?
They can go for the lore still if they really want to. It's going to be forced to be a 50-50 though. No petrifies available for the Indonesians, but the Filipinos, it seems like they do not want to risk it. They know that they have options to play around with, so they concede this score for now.
Indonesia,
It's a free lord given over to Indonesia. Still an enhanced lord. I think it was a wise decision by Philippines to look just to recall, to back off, to not commit, and to play around that Leslie and the Farsa now as we have entered that late stage.
We have entered that late stage, and now Indonesia with the lord in tow. They can go for a dive for aggressive maneuvers, while the Philippines are forced to adjust and adapt to the fact that the waves are going to be pushing. Indonesia is going for those pickups though, waiting for flanks available. If the Filipinos misstep here, it could be dangerous.
No room for mistakes. Taz jumping in, bringing Del Rosario back, but Luna finds the divine judgment on towards Cyclops. Will they revive back to fly out the 3? It's combo in. Soriano finds the kill. Taz gonna go mash on the backline. Zapata does the same. With the Raven Fighter on the 3. He does so much. He turns the tide. He's mocking out, getting petrified. A beautiful wind Russian. Zapata versus the world in the backline. It's Khabib falling. Del Rosario trying to save the game. With Zapata as well. They're looking for a Zapata. Jumps in.
Semua
to be
nanti
able to disrupt some damage as Brands goes into the mid lane, clearing the way to it up. The bottom of the Bravest Fighter again, saving the game for Philippines and taking Taz down for a double kill.
All ends up in a 3-4-3 for both these teams, but the Indonesians have taken all the base towers from the Filipinos, and it looks like they have the advantage here. Guys, timers though, 37 seconds on Taz, 25 seconds on Hijume right now. The Filipinos have a window where they have more members, but just take a look at that previous fight. Look at the engage. It just starts everything out for the Indonesians, and there's just not enough damage coming in from the Filipinos. They were not set up for this fight, and of course Dreams comes in from the side, and it was sketchy. Everyone was so low, but fortunately for both these teams, 2 to 3 members were still able to survive. Hijume now picks up that brute force pressment as well, so it's going to be a lot more tanky against the pad up as well as Soriano, but the purple buff has been stolen by the members of the Philippines. But now with the wave advantage, with the base turrets gone, the Indonesians have a lot more macro options to explore.
The pot-up is making miracles happen. Will Luna to be caught after rough wave with the real world manipulation. The queen has fallen in the 20th minute of the game. Philippines down 4v5. This is the moment again for Indonesia to look for either a siege or to play around that evolved lord. With Luna spawning back in 26 seconds.
It's a massive wave in the bottom side, but the Indonesians opt to go for control, for setup in the lord kit. The Filipinos are looking for an opportunity, but with 15 seconds to go until their main engage tool, their main pickoff person is actually on the map. It's going to be very dangerous. The pad up though has the blade of despair, so now Backline needs to be very careful, and it seems like the Filipinos are not going down without a fight.
Del Rosario opening up this jam, the fight, the bottom jumps in towards Brad, finds the kill with Del Rosario. The backline going to be taken down, but Dream finds the same on the Soriano. The bottom is massive, jumps in, picks up a legendary. It's a 1 for 2. Divine Judgment over to Cyclops right now. The bottom is going to be able to flicker out. Cyclops jumping with Dreams. Now, the bottom in the midst of it all, going to be taken down with Exhibition. Imam still clearing out the waves, and it feels like Indonesia will still have more pressure to play with around the Lord. Villaluna looking to play right now, jumping in again, gonna be knocked up. The Lord completely ignored by Indonesia. Furious dive by Psychos. The retribution battle. Del Rosario coming in. Luna with the steal. Still, Philippines are in this game. They secured the Lord with a steal. Villaluna
ini udah 20 menit
saving the game from the brink of defeat, and the Indonesians are once again forced to wait and play around this Lord. The miracles happening for Philippines. A member down, 2 members down. The Queen is still able to save the Philippines with the evolved Lord take, and now it's Soriano. With the Padap spawning in, they might actually be able to capitalize on the fact. There's still 5 members available for the Indonesians though, so the Filipinos needs to be very careful on how they want to approach this. Dreams already waiting for an opportunity, but look at this kite back, look at this chase! Immortality pops in, that Psychos again, looking for the back line. Soriano gonna be petrified, still able to run away right now, but it's gonna Soriano who's gonna take him down. Dreams picking up an unstoppable. Del Rosario going back again to save his back line. The Dreams will not fall. It's a 2-0. Indonesia now looking for the end. 48 seconds for Soriano to spawn. This is a disaster, but the Filipinos have shown that they can wither this kind of storm. Indonesia making a play with the mid wave, looking for an opportunity right here. Can the Filipinos clear it out? Imam's running back in for the airstrike to clear up the wave. Rosario getting in. Dreams jumping into the back line. Imam's still gonna be able to dish it out right now. The base is wide open, but there are no minion waves to play with for Indonesia. As Philippines have once again defended. They're able to clear the wave, and Imam was able to survive from the dive of Dreams. And instead, the Indonesians are now down their roller for 48 seconds. That is not how they wanted this game to go. In 76 seconds, the next Lord, yet again, will be contested. And we have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Bali, Indonesia, they're all up on their feet. This is a game to watch. My goodness, Arashi, slow the tempo down. Let's talk about the items, man. At this point, everyone has items, but the Padap knows that he is, right at this point, a damage dealer. They do not need to withstand damage. They need to make sure that Dreams, that Brands, the main damage dealers from the side of the Indonesians, get shut down. Look at this. Oh, Psychot's gonna get caught there. His immortality is gonna be down. Dreams is still dead. 60 seconds on the death timers. 24 minutes in. What do Philippines do? They have a chance to go for the end right here. The waves are not pushing in because the base turrets are still available. But if Villaluna can get a huge pickoff, there is potential, and it seems like the Filipinos recognize it. They're going for a better tempo, but Dreams trying to go for the back door, the flank. So much poke being dished out. Hijime taking a half HP with Brands and Taz. Philippines again waiting for the next mini wave, but it will not be coming in fast. It's still in the base, marching, walking down. Del Rosario and the they're all protecting the back line. Soriano and Imam, these are the 2 winning conditions. But they bought enough time, they cleared enough waves to look for the Lord now. And that's what they're going to do, rotating over towards that bottom side river. On the top side, though, the wave is pushing in favor of the Indonesians. So if the Indonesians want to play the long game, they have an advantage, and the Filipinos will be the ones forced to make a move. But look at this maneuver here. The Indonesians are splitting apart. How do they deal with this right now? The Padap sent to the base again to clear out the wave. Taz still playing around the Lord. Del Rosario jumping with the shield unity. And it seems like Philippines are looking towards that topside river with Imam opening it up. They've spotted Dreams and Brands, and they have stopped that split push threat from happening. And they are not clearing the wave in the middle side as well. And it's down to the Lord dance. And in this situation, it does seem like the proactive maneuvers are available for the Indonesians. Can they dive towards the back line? Will the back line, Soriano and Imam, be able to survive
kuncinya
from the
Indonesia Dreams atau Psychotnya ngedapetin Leslie atau Parsa itu udah nggak ada burst damage depan lagi, udah enak banget. Cuma ya resikonya kena si Leslie itu sakit.
From Indonesia. We'll see how they try to face off against Indonesia here. It's a brilliant for the airstrike by Imam, taking a whole lot of HP from Hijime. And that might just be the little victory that Philippines need to again take control of that mid lane, to have more pressure around the bottom side Lord pit. That is the advantage the Filipinos have. Burst damage, but they might have spotted
a Indonesian member in the top side here. They make a play for it, and it won't be enough. The Indonesians are still on the board, still waiting for a chance to make a play, but this is macro territory, and the Indonesians, the top wave, is just pushing again and again in their favor, making it such a headache for the Filipinos.
This is the advantage you have when you get that base turret in that top lane. Those side lanes are constantly pushing in. Psychos now, look at the opening right now with the help toss. Gonna be helped with the divine touch, but Del Rosario, security ball lord. Soriano's able to climb back. Breakers out! Dreams and Psychos baited! And that was the Pada who jumps in. Villaluna soaking a whole lot of damage right now. Soriano backs away. Villaluna losing the immortality as he's gonna be dove on. He's gonna be taken down. The Evolve Lord traded in for the Roamer.
Mereka dapat
The Evolve Lord in favor of the Philippines, but 55 seconds on their main utility tool, their main catch opportunity. We saw this in the previous Lord take. Will the Indonesians still be able to outmaneuver, outplay the Filipinos somehow? Imam goes for the Shadow Talisman. He needs a cooldown.
The pot up again, zoning the other members away, going in for the average, getting knocked up. Now in the real world, manipulation by Hidru going in the back line. Soriano losing immortality, getting taken down as well by Dreams. Imam now getting targeted by Psychos, who jumps to the near side, who jumps in for the damage. Imam with the airstrike, losing the immortality. Del Rosario needs to help him out, but he can't do it. The winner Truncheon was baited out. Indonesia with a 4-man advantage. There was a lone right here. There's 1 million he can clear, but the next wave is coming out. Here it goes. It seems like it is the end. On this day, a revolution begun. The monarchs have fallen, and Indonesia have won your IESF 2022 MLBB World Champions. Indonesia, and the crowd explodes. This is a great moment for Indonesia. What a performance, shutting down the dominant team in the Philippines.
Untuk Indonesia, Indo Podcast kita tunggu
What
saja
a stunning
di
performance.
Mobile
A
Legends
3-0 up against the Philippines.
M4
In the beginning of the tournament,
di Indonesia.
so
See you
many
in the
doubts,
next time.
so much
See
hate
ya.
towards this roster.